Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I am just doing a sound check really quickly, hoping to start this in 5 minutes. Hey King BZ, welcome. We shall be starting in 3 minutes. Hey everyone, welcome to end of 2024 Trivia Night. I'll be starting in a minute, so I figured I'll go over the rules really quickly. It should be super quick. We have 25 questions. Each question you'll have 25 seconds to answer. You can get a maximum of 1,000 points per question. The faster you respond, the more points you'll get. So you start out at 1,000, and then the longer you take, the less your points will be. And the winner will get one of my 2025 Astronomy desk calendars. I'll ship it to anywhere in the world. And the last rule is to respect others and have fun. I'm hoping everyone has joined the Poll Everywhere app. You don't have to register. Just click skip for now. Just add a name. If you haven't, let me know below. I'm going to start this in about 30 seconds. You're going to respond on the site. So questions will appear. So when you're on that website, on the pollev.com website, as the questions appear on this YouTube channel, on this live stream, it'll appear on that website as well. And then you can click your responses there. And it's gamified. It's a competition, so you'll get points based on how you answer. I think once the first question is done, it'll make a little bit more sense. All right, cool. Let's get started. Thanks to everyone who's joined. So let's go. So on your Poll Everywhere website, you should now see a question. So the first question is, who is credited with popularizing the affordable and portable Dobsonian telescope design? This one is not a trick question. And your options are Isaac Newton, Edwin Hubble, John Dobson, or Carl Sagan. Again, the faster you respond, the more points you get, as long as it's correct. All right, looks like we only got 2 responses there. So on the next page, we see what the correct answer is. And you should, on your screen, should see how many points you received, up to 1,000. So here's John Dobson on the ground with his telescope design. So far, we only have 2 people playing with 1,850 points. That's okay. There are 24 more questions, so there's a way to come back. All right, let's move on to the next question. So which of these scientists has a reflecting telescope named after them? Your 4 options are Isaac Newton, Galileo Galilei, Tycho Brahe, or Johann Kepler. All right, we got 3 responses that time. Let's see what the correct answer is. It's Isaac Newton. Yep, Isaac Newton developed the Newtonian telescope a few hundred years ago. Galileo has technically a space probe named after him that visited Jupiter back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Here's a picture of Isaac Newton. I believe this was the first selfie. All right, we have 3 people winning. User 1 is winning, whoever you are. No Name is at 2nd place, and Cindy is at 525. Kepler also has a space telescope. We also have a space telescope. I believe it's looking for transiting planets in space right now. All right, let's get to the next question. So how do you measure the magnification of an eyepiece and telescope combination? It's getting a little bit more technical, but I think if you're exploring astronomy or getting a telescope, this could be useful for you. So it's a little bit of math. The options are telescope focal length by times eyepiece focal length, telescope times divided by eyepiece, telescope to the power of eyepiece, and telescope focal length plus the eyepiece focal length. All right. All right. That one is ended. Let's see what the correct answer is. Now, the correct answer is the second one, telescope focal length divided by eyepiece focal length. So if you have a 1000 millimeter telescope and a 10 millimeter eyepiece, you'll have a power of 100x magnification. So it looks like no one got that right. That's okay. Hopefully this formula makes sense. Oh. I guess it skipped the leaderboard. So there we go. So no points have been changed. It's okay, Sen. You are doing okay. Next question. What is the farthest naked eye object that we can observe? This is a fun fact that you can drop on people anytime. So we have Pluto, we have the Milky Way galaxy, we have the Andromeda galaxy, and the Whirlpool galaxy. All right, let's see what the correct answer is. It is the Andromeda galaxy. It's like 2 out of 3 people got that right, and that is correct. It is 2.5 million light years away, and we are able to see it with our naked eye from dark enough skies. So if you live in the city, you'll be able to see it, but go to a darker place, and you'll see a fuzzy blob in the sky near the Milky Way galaxy. So here's the new leaderboard. No name has gone to number 1. And look at that, Cindy is catching up. Let's get to the next question. So what constellation is the Orion Nebula in? Not a trick question. So we have Orion, we have Cassiopeia, we have the Big Dipper, and we have Bananas. I think this was probably the first question I wrote a week ago, and I probably should have updated it to something a little bit better. All right, let's see what the answer is. Again, like I said, not a trick question. The Orion Nebula is in the Orion constellation. Here's a picture of it that I took a few years ago. And on top, we can see the Running Man Nebula, because it looks like a dude running in space. Let's go to the next question. Oh, let's look at the leaderboard. Looks like user 1 is at number 1, Cindy number 2, and No Name is at number 3. Right. What is the Messier number of the Andromeda galaxy? So this answer was actually given in a question a few questions ago. So let's see which one if you remember. 51, 101, 42, or 31. I ordered these questions poorly, so I already accidentally gave the answer away. But let's see who remembers. All right. Looks like 2 of you remembered correctly, 1 of you did not. And here's the leaderboard. Look at that. Cindy is winning. No Name is number 2, and user 1 is number 3. Let's go to the next question. Not counting the sun, what is the closest star to Earth? So we have Sirius, we have Alpha Centauri, we have Proxima Centauri, and we have Betelgeuse. If you understand a little bit of Latin, this may give you a hint. The names of these stars could give you a hint. 42 is a good number. It's the meaning of life. Ooh, looks like only 2 people were able to answer. So one person said Alpha Centauri and one person said Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is the correct answer. Proxima, meaning proximity, is the closest star. It's about 4.25 light years away. Oh, come on. All right, there we go. The leaderboard is a little bit bugged. Looks like Cindy is still winning, but user 1 is now at number 2. Let's get to the next question. So during a solar eclipse, what is the term for the shadow cast by the moon that reaches the Earth's surface? You may have heard of this. on the news, online, etc. So the four options are umbra, penumbra, antumbra, or horizon. This was a big buzzword this year because of the eclipse. All right, let's see. Oh no, nobody got it right. It's not the penumbra or the horizon. It was the umbra. The penumbra is almost shadow. It's like right outside the shadow. It's kind of like the word penultimate. And we have ultimate, penultimate. We have penumbra and umbra. It's okay. We'll learn something new. We will have a partial solar eclipse in March. There'll be a lot of penumbra then. So the leaderboard has not changed. Next question. What is the maximum number of solar eclipses that can occur in any given year? Hey, Dan, man. Welcome. There's still time to join and win. I'll pause after this to let you get settled in. So the question here is, what is the maximum number of solar eclipses that can occur in any given year? 3, 5, 8, and 12. I asked this question on my YouTube channel as a community quiz earlier this year. All right, let's see what the answer is. It's 5. Look at that. Congrats to the person that got it right. Looks like Cindy is winning by almost 1,000 points. All right, let's get to the next question. Okay, in astronomy, what is the name of the cycle that can be used to predict future eclipses, both solar and lunar? It's another question that I asked in one of my community quizzes earlier this year. Hey Gary, we are playing some trivia. So the link to join is in the description below. So you go in there. You don't have to create an account. Just click skip for now. And then just put a name. And then you can play along. We are about a third of the way done. But there's still a chance to win. So I'll pause here for about 30 seconds to let the new people catch up a little bit. And then I'll move on. I am also now realizing that there's a little bit of a delay between when the questions appear on the live stream and when you're probably seeing it on your screen. So, yeah, sorry about that. Didn't think about that at all. Oh yeah, somebody suggested I should give everyone the URL. Give me 1 second before I move on. I'll post it in the chat. Time is up. Hold on. So I'll move on to the next question, the answer. So let's see if that helps you, Sin. All right. So the 4 choices are Costanza, Ecliptic, Newtonian, and Saros. Again, I apologize for the delay. I totally did not think about that. So I know I'm explaining some of the things after they've already disappeared. So if I ever do this again, I'm going to have to do this differently. Yeah, as King BZ said, don't make an account. All right, so let's see what the answer is. It is Saros. Wow, 1% out of 4 got it correct. Congratulations to that person. And let's see what the new leaderboard is. So we have Cindy still winning, user 1, no name, and DJN. I think that's Dan, right? Sorry, Gary. Yeah, I will try and add a little bit of delay to what I'm talking about, so what I'm saying, so maybe that'll help a little bit. But lesson learned, big lesson learned here about the YouTube delay. There's a tiny bit of a delay between what I'm seeing on my screen and between what you're seeing. So I'll figure that out for next time if I do another one. Let's do the next question. So I'll leave this on for about 30 seconds. So in which lunar phase is it possible to have a solar eclipse? This one should be fairly easy. Like when would we see a solar eclipse? If you saw the last one, and if you remember, then it may tell you exactly what the answer is. That's okay if you didn't know. It's I'm hoping that this is also a good learning opportunity. All right, let's see what the options are. We have quarter moon, new moon, full moon, and blue moon. So think about what happens during a solar eclipse is when the moon gets between the Earth and the sun. All right. We got 5 responses. Maybe I should have started this stream a little bit later. Awesome. Well, I hope you were able to answer it too. It's a little bit of a delay. Maybe for the next one, I'll do 60-second timers instead of 25 seconds. And then let's see what the answer is. The answer is new moon. So full moon is when the moon is on the opposite side of the sun, and new moon is when it's right between the Earth and the sun. Sorry, Cindy. I'm trying to add my own delay so that I kind of buffer what I'm seeing and what you're seeing. Congrats, Gary. Let's see the leaderboard. Oh yeah, so this is a picture of the new moon. It's supposed to be a joke, and it's a black screen because we can't really see the moon during a new moon. But yeah, the delay is a little bit annoying, but lesson learned. And then we'll see the leaderboard now. Oh, come on. All right, Cindy is still winning. Oh, we had 6 people answer. That's cool. User 1 is number 2. No name is number 3. DJN. Answer that really fast because you got the full 1,000 points. I would give her credit. She's still winning. G7 answered it pretty quickly as well. And Mar. Let's see. So I'll leave this on the screen for a few more seconds, and then I will move on to the next question. All right, next question. What is the closest dwarf planet? So I'll leave this on for the delay to catch up a little bit, and then we will see the question. I ended up also opening the stream on a different tab so that I can see myself, what I see on the stream versus what I see on my screen, just to catch up a little bit. So I think the delay is about 10 or 12 seconds. Okay, so let's see what the answer options are. You should see it pop up on your screen. Pluto, Ceres, Eris, or Mercury. One of these you can eliminate about immediately. Mercury is also an element on the periodic table. And it's also the densest planet in the solar system. Sorry, Cindy. All right, let's see what the answer is. Pluto, a couple people got Ceres, which is the correct answer, and Mercury. So if you look at a picture of Ceres, so this is Ceres taken by the Dawn spacecraft by NASA a few years ago. It is a dwarf planet in the asteroid belt. It is the largest object in the asteroid belt. It has a sister or wife, whatever the Greek mythology is, named Vesta, which is not as round. And the white stuff that you see here is like salt deposits from water or ice that melted away or evaporated away a long time ago, which is interesting. Ceres is bright enough that you can see with a telescope, and it'll be a point in space, but it's still pretty cool to see, I think. So let's get to the next question. Oh, let's look at the leaderboard first. So Cindy is still winning with 4,400 points, followed by No Name, User 1, DJN, G7, and Mar. All right, I'll have the next question up on the screen for a little while for the live stream to catch up. So who discovered Pluto? So it's related to the last question. Pluto is one of the options. Let's see if any of you know a little bit of history. Pluto was a planet, a full-fledged planet until 2005, 2006. Yeah, I didn't originally have a prize, but I figured, a calendar is a nice prize to give away at the end of the year. All right, let's see what the options are. We have Percival Lowell, Giuseppe Piazzi, Clyde Tombaugh, and William Herschel. For some, all of these names may be a question of who the heck are they. But Percival Lowell has a Lowell Observatory. It has discovered many things. Giuseppe Piazzi is an Italian astronomer, I believe. And since the questions are, I can tell you, Clyde Tombaugh is the one who discovered Pluto. And William Herschel discovered Uranus and Neptune. So let's see who got that correct. Well, it looks like one person got Clyde Tombaugh. Congrats, whoever that was. A few people picked William Herschel, which is actually a really nice guess because he has discovered so many things in his lifetime. He and his sister. But I think because of the time, William Herschel got most of the credit. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Oh, let's take a look at Clyde Tombaugh first. So here he is using a Newtonian telescope designed by Isaac Newton himself. It's a 79-inch focal length, looks like. And here's the leaderboard. Cindy at 5,400. Congrats. No Name, User 1, DJN, G7, and Mar in that order. Old school indeed. Yeah, and back then they did the comparison manually. Just two pictures, physical pictures that he would go back and forth on to see if anything was moving. There's a documentary on Clyde Tombaugh and how he discovered Pluto. Don't know where it's streaming, if it's streaming anywhere, but definitely recommend checking it out. All right, let's get to the next question. Which telescope network was responsible for capturing the first ever image of a black hole? I believe we saw this picture in 2016, 2017. So it's pretty recent. So some of you, it may ring a bell for some of you. So let's see if any of you remember. This was a massive project, and the scientist or the engineer who came up with the algorithm to gather all the data, gather and process all the data is from MIT. Yeah, I remember you want Vega images, but it's gonna be a while because it's not in the right part of the sky for me. Yeah, 2018, 2019. That sounds right. Yeah, I should have looked up the year before I started this. So let's see the options. You have the Hubble Space Telescope. We have the Event Horizon Telescope, James Webb Space Telescope, the Black Hole Telescope Network. This was a picture of a black hole in a galaxy called M87. M87 is a cool galaxy. It has a stream of particles jetting out of the center of a massive black hole, which is pretty cool. I have seen the galaxy with a large telescope. I can't see the stream of particles, but I think it's fairly easy to image it with a good enough setup. All right, so let's see who got these right. All right, look at that. Half of you got the Event Horizon Telescope. That is correct. I'm glad nobody fell for the Black Hole Telescope Network. So that was a trick option. And the Hubble Space Telescope has located, I think it was Hubble. It could have been the Keck Telescope that found the first stellar mass black hole called Cygnus X1. Amateur astronomers can take pictures of the shockwave that comes out of that stellar mass black hole, but pretty cool. JWST has seen other black holes, but it was not the one to capture the first image of a black hole. And we can see a picture of the black hole here. It looks like a donut. This I have saved on my computer since it was taken. And I believe there are a couple of better versions of it, as well as one of the black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. And with that, we'll go to the leaderboard. So we have Cindy still winning by a healthy margin. We have No Name, User1, DJN, G7, and Mar in that order. It does look like a bagel. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question. Where in space is the James Webb Space Telescope located? So when JWST was launched, this word popped up everywhere. It was a specific place in space where JWST is parked. Let's see if anyone remembers it. And with that, let's see the options. We have Lagrange Point 2. We have Low Earth Orbit. We have Lunar Orbit 3 and Asteroid Belt Location 2. I don't know if this one is too easy, since it is it has been a few years since JWST has gone live, but not everyone pays attention to this kind of information equally. Alrighty then. Questions are, or answers are locked. Let's see. So, Lagrange point 2. Looks like 2/3 of you got that question correct. Congratulations. The Hubble Space Telescope is in low Earth orbit. Lunar orbit 3 doesn't exist, neither does asteroid belt location 2. So, congrats to everyone who got that correct. And I think timing it, I think the delay is about 30 seconds, not 10 seconds. So, and here's a picture of exactly where JWST is. It's on the opposite side of the Earth compared to the Moon. And at this L2 point is where the pull of the gravity of everything in the solar system here, it kind of balances out. The L1 point is where the Earth and the Sun pulls the object here equally. So pretty cool. We have 5 of these. And these are just the ones around Earth. There are others around the other planets as well. I don't think they're called Lagrange points. So let's take a look at the next question. Wow. All right, let's take a look at the leaderboard. Yeah, the this pull everywhere thing is a little bit buggy. It takes me too far forward sometimes. So Cindy is still winning. No Name is catching up. User 1, DJN, G7, Crip, and Mar. Hey, welcome, Crip, to the party. And with that, let's go to the next question. So which elements in the Earth's atmosphere are primarily responsible for the colors in aurora? Responsible for the colors. That's forgot the word for. But pretend it's there. We have been lucky this year that we've gotten, I think, 4 shows in the continental United States, which is crazy. How many questions left? I lost count too. Give me 1 second. I'll check. There's 8 questions left. I would have gone faster if there wasn't a crazy delay between the stream and the question. So here are the options. We have nitrogen and oxygen, carbon dioxide and methane, hydrogen and helium, and neon and argon. We are in solar maximum, and I'm hoping that we see a few more auroral shows over the next year. And hopefully this helps you when you see these over the next year. You see them, and you know what is causing the colors. There are other elements that can cause colors, but I'm just talking about the primary colors, which is red and green. All right, we have 7 responses there. Look at that. 43% got oxygen and nitrogen correct. Majority of you said hydrogen and helium. Helium is famously non-reactive because it is on the noble gas column. Hydrogen, I believe some of it will interact with this, but it's not the primary cause for the colors. I should have had a graphic here that showed what colors each of these elements are, but I'll post that later. And looking at the leaderboard, Cindy is still winning, but No Name is catching up. And we have User 1, DJN, G7, Crip, and Mar in that order. So congrats to Cindy for still keeping the lead for a while. All right, let's go to the next question. So which astronomer discovered that the universe is expanding? So this is an interesting fact. It happened a little over 100 years ago now. And a hint, he has a telescope named after him. So I'll let the answers pop up right now. So the options are Albert Einstein, Edwin Hubble, Stephen Hawking, or Neil deGrasse Tyson. This person was also the first to discover that the Andromeda Nebula is not actually a nebula in the Milky Way galaxy, but it's its own island galaxy, millions of light years away. Alrighty, let's see what the answer is. Answer is Edwin Hubble. Looks like everyone got that right. Congrats. Did my hint give it away that that this person has a telescope named after them, or did you all just know? Alrighty, let's see the leaderboard. Let's see the picture of Edwin Hubble. As from what I've read, this guy was super charismatic. Everybody loved him. He was also extremely confident in everything he did. And there he is drawing a galaxy. Look at that. We have Crip and Mar on the board. We have Cindy still in the lead with No Name right behind. Followed by User 1, DJN, G7, Crip, and Mar. Big Bang, that's right. He did help with the Big Bang Theory, or at least helped prove that the star or had shown evidence that the universe was expanding from a central point. Okay, let's look at the next question. I should have done this one before the last one. So, what are auroras in the southern hemisphere called, besides southern lights? So, in the north, we have the northern lights and the aurora borealis. So, what are they called in the south? Right, and let's look at the options. So we have Aurora Borealis still. We have Aurora Southernus, have Aurora Australis, and Aurora Antarcticus. Yeah, you were right about everyone else being too recent. Well, Einstein was a contemporary of Hubble, so they were growing up at around the same time. Neil deGrasse Tyson wasn't born yet. So we got 7 responses again. I think that's everyone, so I'll just move forward. So, 71% of you picked Aurora Australis, which is correct. Congrats. I hope I didn't confuse that 1% with the Aurora Antarcticus. Although, if I say so myself, that sounds like a plausible answer. It was not a trick question. No. I mean, maybe the answers were a little bit tricky. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Ooh, No Name moved forward, winning by 600 points. And we have Cindy, the DJN. Looks like User 1 fell back, with G7 catching up, along with Crip and Mar. All right, let's see what the next question is, and I'll stay on that screen for a little bit. So which constellation contains the North Star, which is Polaris? This one's not a trick question, but I think it's a fun fact, and more people don't know this than do know this, so might be a cool thing to learn. All right, let's look at the options. So we have Ursa Major, we have Ursa Minor, Orion, and Draco. If you're here near the beginning of the event, you should be able to eliminate one of these pretty easily. Well, we can't really observe the universe's edge. There's a there's the what is it called? It's called the horizon. I'm blanking on the phrase. The observable universe that we can observe is like 93 billion light years across. But yeah, but 100 years ago we thought the universe was the Milky Way galaxy. All right. Anyways, let's see what the answer is. Ooh, Ursa Minor. More than half of you got that right. Yeah, Ursa Minor is a little dipper. That's where that is. The little bear. And here's a picture of what it looks like. So if you can find the Big Dipper, the Big Dipper is actually a lot brighter than the Little Dipper, and it's more recognizable. You can follow these two stars here, the Merak and Dubhe, and it'll point you to Polaris, and Big Dipper will go around Polaris. So it's pretty easy to find. Polaris is also pretty bright, but it's not as bright as you think, especially if you're in the city. So let's see the leaderboard. Come on. Leaderboard. So look at that. Cindy came back to number 1. No Name dropped to number 2. DJN is catching up, and User 1 fell, along with G7, Crip, and Mar are also catching up. Alrighty, let's look at the next question. So which constellation is home to the star cluster known as the Pleiades? It's the Seven Sisters. This is the brightest Messier object in the sky. You can see this from most places, including pretty heavy light polluted places. The only place you can't see it from is probably like New York City, if you're looking towards Manhattan. But if you see it rising in the east, you might be able to see it even from New York. They're pretty big, pretty bright. Easy to see, easy to capture. So let's take a look at the options. We have Orion, Perseus, Taurus, and Leo. I understand that this might not be the easiest for everyone, but hopefully it teaches you where the brightest Messier object is by the end of this question. I know the Orion constellation has shown up a bunch of times in this trivia, but it's Orion season now. Alrighty, let's take a look at the answer. Looks like 67% of you guessed Taurus correctly. And a Perseus was is a little bit tricky. It does sound like Perseus or Pleiades, starting with a P, but it's Taurus. Here's a picture of the Pleiades that I took a few years ago. It's not even my most recent picture, but Pleiades is super bright. It has a reflection nebula in front of it. It's blue. It glows blue. And it's glowing based on the starlight that's coming from these big stars back here. All right. Let's see the winners. Looks like No Name has taken the lead again by 500 points, followed by Cindy, DJN, User 1, Crip, Mar, and G7. I'm glad to see everyone on the board. All right, let's take a look at the next question. So what is the most abundant element in the universe? This is something we learned in high school. High school chemistry, I think, or physics. But it's good to know. We are made up of most of this element, quite a lot. All right, let's take a look at the options. We have hydrogen, helium, oxygen, and carbon. Hopefully this one isn't too tricky. Yep. Good. Glad to hear this one is easy. Yeah, as an astrophotographer, everywhere we look in space is full of this element. And if you look at the answer, it is hydrogen. Oh, it looks like everyone got it correct. All right, let's see what the leaderboard is. It looks like Cindy is back on the lead by 300 points. Congrats. No Name, DJN, User1, Crip, Mar, and G7 in that order. Let me take a look at how many questions we have left. All right, we have 4 questions left. So let's bring up the next one. So which of these is not a type of nebula? I know for people who don't do astrophotography, this may not be obvious, but again, maybe this is a good learning opportunity. All right, let's take a look at the options. So we have reflection, refraction, emission, and dark. So we saw 2 of these nebulae types already in Orion and the Pleiades, and I kind of named one, so let's see if you remember. I should have had some options here, but I didn't. So we have 5 people who answered. Let's see which one of you got this correct. Oh, looks like only one person got it correct. A refraction nebula. So there's no such thing as a refraction nebula. Emission nebula is what a lot of space is. This is hydrogen alpha signal coming in. It's like the red nebulas that you probably see. And dark nebula is a nebula that exists. If you've ever seen a picture of the Horsehead Nebula, where the horse's head just looks dark, it's a dark nebula. There's a lot of dust and gas out there that blocks light, and they end up being dark nebula. Okay, let's see who got that one right. Ooh, DJN just took the lead at 9,700. So there's 3 questions left after this. So let's see. Cindy still has a way to catch up. Just no name. So this is pretty close between 3 people. Exciting. User1, Crip, Mar, and G7 are still on the leaderboard. Let's take a look at the next question. So which of these is not a part of the anatomy of a comet? I released a video back in October when comet Suchin-Chan Atlas was in the sky, and I drew a really bad picture of what the anatomy of a comet looks like. So let's take a look at the options. We have coma, we have dust tail, we have ion tail, and we have plasma core. This may not be obvious just by looking. But it may be helpful to know the next time a comet comes around, you could look smart in front of everyone and tell them exactly what you're looking at. And let's take a look at the answers, or let's take a look at who got this right, or what the correct answer is. And the answer is plasma core. Congrats. Most of you got that correct. The dust tail is actually the tail that we see from Earth. It looks like the actual tail. The ion tail is rare, but it happens quite often when particles from the comet gets charged by the solar wind and they start glowing. The coma is just the nucleus, the center of the comet. So yeah, plasma core is not a thing. All right, leaderboard. Looks like DJN is still in first place at 10,450 points. There's 2 questions left. Still a chance for people to catch up, with No Name in number 2, Cindy at number 3. User 1, Crip, G7, and Mar are still trailing behind. So congrats to everyone who got that one correct. All right, let's take a look at the next question. So what causes a comet's tail to point away from the sun? If you've ever seen a video of a comet going through the solar system, or even a time lapse, you'll see that the tail always points away from the sun, even if it's moving away from the sun, which is interesting. But do you know why? All right, let's take a look at the options. We have Jupiter's gravity, pressure from the solar radiation and wind. We have the sun's magnetic field and the sun's BO. Is the sun smelly? So hopefully you can eliminate one of these options right away. All right, looks like everybody answered, so we'll go to the answer and see. Okay, so one person thought it was sun's BO. That's it could be it, you know. It could be an undiscovered science that we haven't gone into yet. Sun's magnetic field was a tricky one. I know. I'm glad no one thought it was Jupiter's gravity, but most of you got it right, that it was the pressure from the solar wind and radiation. You know, we don't really feel it on Earth because we are protected by our atmosphere and Earth's magnetic field, but the comets are not. So all of that charged particles, all of the solar particles that are coming off the sun, it's just pushing on the comet itself, which is interesting. So let's take a look at the leaderboard. Looks like DJN is still winning. Cindy has taken 2nd place. No Name is at 3rd. User 1 is at 4th. Crip at 5. G7 at 6. And Mar at 7. Yeah, it could kind of be true that it's the sun's BO. We need the smelloscope from Futurama and do some solar gazing with it. All right, let's take a look at the next question. So which astronomer is credited to have theorized dark matter? So this one's a little bit harder. And this one is one of my fun facts that I like to share with people because the person who discovered it, I'm going to give it away if I say anything more right now, but I'll save it for after. And this is the last question. So there is a chance that it could be one of 3 people who wins, depending on who gets it right. Okay, so ready for the last question. Let's look at the options. We have Fritz Zwicky, Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and Nicholas Copernicus. So dark matter is called dark matter because we have no idea what it is. It's dark, but it interacts with regular matter. It's everywhere, and it was just a theory. And decades after he theorized it, we have evidence that it exists. So let's take a look at who answered it correctly. Fritz Zwicky, yes. So one person thought it was Stephen Hawking, but most of you thought it was Fritz Zwicky. Fritz Zwicky has the funnest name. He is probably one of my favorite astronomers. He has discovered so many things, so many theories, super smart. He's a contemporary of Albert Einstein. And yeah, just if you haven't read up on Fritz Zwicky, I recommend reading up on him. He was a fun dude. He was very quirky. And he has a facility named after him called the Zwicky Transient Facility, which is responsible for discovering lots of asteroids and comets, including the one from 2023, where it was named Comet ZTF for Zwicky Transient Facility. Right, let's see who won. Oh, this is a picture of Fritz Zwicky. This is I thought this picture embodied the kind of person he was, based on what I've read about him, that he was just, goofy. And let's take a look at who won. Oh, congrats to DJN. You won. That's exciting. Cindy, you held the lead for so long. I'm sorry that you didn't win. But that was a great effort. And I think so this was fun. I apologize for the sync delays between the YouTube and what I was seeing. It didn't hit me until I think question 5 or 6. So hopefully waiting a little bit longer helped, but I know then that my audio is a little bit off sync, so I would have to figure out a way to do this again later. Maybe a better way, maybe a Zoom call, who knows? I'll have to figure that out. So congratulations, DJN. Is that you, Dan? If you are, message me your address on Discord, and I'll send you a calendar. Thank you all for playing. If you have any feedback on this, please let me know. I'm always open to feedback. I really appreciate everyone, and I hope you all have a really happy New Year. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday night with me. Good night, everyone.